All right, Matt from Amped Airsoft.
And this is Anthony.
And this is Saffron, and I'm wearing a blue shirt.
This is Robbie.
And today is episode, 5?
I think we're on 5.
Ask Amp? Yeah, we're doing episode 5 of Ask Amp today, and we're going to go on a drive. Come with us as we have a journey.
Woo! Pittsburgh bound.
All right, everybody, so after our trip, we have made it on location for our episode today. You can see the beautiful city behind us.
Mount Washington.
On Mount Washington. This is Emerald Park. All right, who wants to go first? We got Matthew, Saffron's house, myself, Anthony, and then Robbie. Go ahead and go for it.
It's a long one.
It's a long one. Oh, you're just going to throw it down too long.
Oops. Okay. On that note, guys, he actually had a question last week. Interesting topic about Daytona guns. I actually have a question. Not having worked with a Daytona gun, but ever only seeing videos and reading about them, I'm thinking of getting one made out of my VFC 416 and Aries M110. Would this be possible? And being that the job would be custom on the M110, would it be possible to take any SR25 mags instead of being stuck to non-existent proprietary Aries mags? To be honest with you, I personally don't know.
I believe someone answered him in the question section.
Tony Rizzo, who's I guess kind of like the local.
He is the dude.
He's the dude to know when it comes to Daytona stuff. For some reason, I think I heard him. I think he posted somewhere that he doesn't like doing 416s, but it's always worth giving him a shot. Messaging him will outlaw anything that we ever tell you about Daytona guns. He knows so much more about it than we do.
Because 9 times out of 10, when I'm talking about Daytona guns, I'm just flapping my lips.
Yeah, we don't really. I don't know. We have about as much experience as you do, so we're not too sure.
Now, and the thing is like I've been around for a while. A lot of us have been around for a long time, but like,
set my timer.
America.
That's a muffler right there. And that's a chick, I think.
Is it? Oh, that's even better.
Welcome to Pittsburgh.
But like my exposure on Daytona guns is so limited. I've only seen 2 of them ever in person.
I've held one.
Yeah, I got to hold and shoot one once. One of the 2. Like I've
only seen.
It's just what it is. So. All right, so this one is from Tyler Peters. How valuable is a secondary? I'm not talking about a sidearm necessarily, but something like your M4, a submachine gun, and a sidearm. Are the advantages worth the trade-offs in weight and mobility?
Matt.
Well, Matthew, our buddy Matthew here.
Bing! You hit the jackpot.
Matthew likes to carry everything, so let's talk to Matthew.
So, to be honest, as much as I love the Mac, like I have a love-hate relationship with it, like because the open bolt stuff always just.
Let's just stick to the fact of that he's asking if it's worth it carrying extra guns. Now, every time I've ever seen you play, Matt, you have a pistol, a grenade pistol, a Mac 11, and then whatever primary you're running. So that could have been like your
AK,
SAW,
M4
your
SAW.
AK, M4 SAW. So do you find that it's worth it carrying all of those weapon systems? I think is more along the question that he's asking.
I mean, I'm so used to my low speed, high drag loadouts, it doesn't bother me anymore.
His high drag potato man.
Did you carry an 18-4 if they had it?
I did all that with a rocket launcher once.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah, the broken home, he was carrying a rocket launcher. Yeah, all of that plus a rocket launcher.
We didn't use it
either. We didn't use it one time.
But to be honest, like I'd say, like always have a sidearm with you, whether it be like little, like tiny little submachine gun, or like a pistol. Personally, I always have my pistol. Like I have a tendency to drop my Mac. Like I'll go out there, get the feel for the game, see if I need it, see if my guns are actually working that game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let him be honest here for a second. What he does is he goes out on the field and whatever he's carrying implodes.
Yeah.
And then he has to use one of the 6 guns he's carrying with him.
I'm faster at reloading than I am with pulling out my pistol. I don't know if that's just me, but reloading my rifle is faster.
I've done a lot of training and a lot of stuff.
You know
like
what I mean?
I've been trained to always rely on your primary, and then your secondary is
if
just
your primary goes down, right?
just if your primary takes a shit. So I carry a pistol with a couple mags just in case.
I'm the same way. I actually stopped carrying a pistol because I don't like weight on my hips because I'm little. So.
Yeah, well, it's hard for you to find belts that fit.
Yeah, the sure grip was awesome. It's just, I don't know. I didn't ever use my pistol, so I didn't find a reason to carry it.
Custom order for.
I'm not saying my guns don't break because they do. My guns do
but yeah, like I don't know. I was just always trained to like, just, you know, you do work with your rifle. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
And then you use your pistol if you're like, oh shit, and then that's what your pistol's for. What do you think?
I think it's always worth carrying a secondary, like you guys said. Primaries, try to keep it up going, but in Airsoft, they tend to go down at the worst times. Have something backed up with you at any time, just in case.
Just in case.
Right, your turn.
Your turn, saffron sauce.
Saffronio.
Honey Buns.
Oh, yeah.
Asking for Orga 6.23 barrels. Does low-high poppet well DP really make an FPS accuracy difference?
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh my.
I run it really low to save air, even though I run a 260 millimeter wide bore barrel. Is that bad for FPS accuracy? Polar Star guys?
Wait, what was the question? What did he say?
High-low DP versus an Orga.
Yeah,
What's important?
We always run as low DP as we possibly can.
Low as we can.
Most of us run typically around like 10 to 12.
Yep.
I know we've been messing around as low as 8. I typically set my settings a little higher just in case like I get a bad BB or something. I account for jams and stuff like that as much as humanly possible. So even though my DP and DN don't have to be high, I set them higher just in case. I'd rather, lose like, 6 inches of a grouping at 100 yards than not be able to shoot my gun and have it jam on me. So it does, FPS wise, it really doesn't. Overvoluming, I mean, the Polar Star system already puts out so much air to the point where it's overvoluming the BB.
No matter what.
We've done a lot of chrono testing with them.
No matter what.
From what we've seen, DP doesn't really affect the feet per second enough to matter. Like, we might be talking like...
You could crank it all the way from one extreme all the way to the other and maybe get like 2 FPS.
Yeah, you might get like 5, but
it's not a lot.
From what we're seeing, it's not a lot. Level barrel, is that bad for FPS accuracy? Not really. Once again, typically when people buy the Orgas, they know what they're getting into going into it, so they either account for that by upping a nozzle or running a higher PSI than they usually would. So typically when people run an Orgas, they always run a red nozzle and they just crank their PSI down a little lower to account for it. So
yep, there you go.
Yeah,
what do you think? What do you think, Matthew? Polar Star?
I always run mine around 20 DP. So it's up high enough that like any difference in weather is not going to affect it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you run yours high though because
In the
you run a
cold.
saw. You run a saw. Let's just be honest. You chug so much ammo that
I don't.
Also,
you
on
don't
the
want it
topic-
to like misfeed or do anything. So you just want it to shove everything out of the end of the barrel.
Generally,
Walk
in
the
the
stream end.
Generally in the cold, you have to run your settings a little higher too because the O-rings don't slide as easily as they are in the heat. So typically, like in the winter, I do the same thing Matt does. I set my DP to like 20 or 25, but in the summer you can get away. I've run mine as low as 10 before. So
I think I keep mine right around 15 for the most
Actually, I
part.
think my amoeba, I guess Diane's amoeba for the record. I run like 15. So
Yeah, I was like, I run mine right around 15.
Snag a question, Matt.
oh, that's a nice one.
You got a Facebook one, nice.
Okay. Graham Maxwell, when is the fully mechanical version of the Polar Star kit coming? Project X. I have no idea.
We don't know.
No clue. Do I want it? Yes.
Where's this going?
I got it.
Oh no! Don't let her.
I'm kind of stuffing them in. I don't know.
There you go. Just throw them there.
I'm just stuffing them in here.
We don't know.
We didn't
I
think
want
this
it.
through.
I want it.
It's like
Here's the thing. I break lots of stuff. That's why systems like the SMP really draw my attention because with my Polar Star, because I'm really rough on my things, I've broken a lot of parts of my Polar Star and had to fix or replace or purchase or send it in for tech work before I worked here. And, like solenoids, like 2 or 3 sets of solenoids by now.
Yeah.
Because the ones I got were just defunct from the word go. And so like, simpler systems to me are better. So like the Tipman and especially the Project X, because they're all mechanical, I want them because I drop my shit in the mud and I need something that's a little bit more robust.
Yeah.
Come on, yellow
Come on,
swag.
Blake.
Okay.
Hold on to that puppy.
Amric Wheeler, interesting name. what all do I need to use an 11.1 volt LiPo battery? Also looking forward to seeing you guys at Revelations. Well, we'll see you at Revelations. That'll be fun. As far as an 11.1, technically you don't need anything. A battery will run on any gun. It's just about how reliable you want it to be. Typically, no matter what kind of setup people are running with the high voltage battery, I always recommend to stick to semi-auto. It's going to be a lot less hard on everything. But to answer your question, it's very gun specific. I mean, it depends on the exact setup, how fast it's moving.
The quality of parts.
Generally, with anything, I mean, you want to make sure you have a good shim polish lube done. You want to make sure your gun's running efficiently. You want to make sure you have some sort of torquey motor, because generally people run 11.1 volt LiPos for two things. They want better trigger response and better rate of fire. And those can be achieved through other ways too. You don't necessarily need a big battery. Through other upgrades, like I said, getting a nice high torquey motor, making sure your weapon's efficient, you can achieve pretty snappy trigger response without upping your battery. And that's a common misconception when it comes to this kind of stuff. People think they need a big battery to get good performance, which isn't really true.
One of the other ways I normally describe it is that pretty much your parts are rated for a set number of shots.
Yeah.
And then having the bigger battery makes you reach that that shot limit faster.
Yeah. When things are moving quicker.
Faster.
Boom,
like
science.
You don't see top thrill dragsters, running multiple races without getting full engine rebuilds,
Yeah.
Race cars get rebuilt every race because they're race cars. So
11.1, maybe a 7.4 might be better.
Performance is nice while it lasts, but it's over a lot quicker than.
Now, personally, I would recommend a 7.4.
I always
depends on the output too. Like I run a 20C 11.1 on my gun, but it has a MOSFET. It's strictly semi-auto. I don't touch full auto with it, and it's been pretty reliable so far. So.
Yeah,
it's gun specific.
Gun specific.
It's at your own risk.
Brian McGinnis, how much would it cost to HPA tap 4 KWA MP7 mags, and would you request or deny it? Well, we can do it.
Kind of.
We've done it before.
We've done it before.
Check the camera.
The big thing about that,
We're good.
I would just go along the lines of, I think we've talked about HPA tapped gas blowbacks before. I don't think it's for skirmishing, I don't think it's a worthwhile investment, personally.
No. If you play in cold weather a lot, I definitely say go for it.
Yeah.
But it's not really something that
is
necessary or would be recommended.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily that great. Will your performance of your MP7, will it function better? Yes, it will function better overall. But my biggest thing is that now you're adding more equipment to your weapon, and then every time you do a reload,
that's a big extra step. That's a pain in the butt.
Well, yeah, air rig, air tank, that's expensive.
When Big
line,
he had two lines coming out of his air tank, so he would have the mag and the gun ready to go, and then one mag in his rig ready. So he'd be just.
But even then, it's just
mags.
Now we sell on our site the taps that mate with our type of fittings for our lines. And we also sell the drill bit and the tap itself to thread the hole into the mag. So we sell all the parts that you can do it yourself.
I think it's like $30-40.
I think to buy all the parts to do it yourself and then just do it yourself, you're looking at right around $40. Now the big deal is tech work does cost money, so it depends on how much. I'd say if you're going to have us do it, you're looking at least another $70 in cost.
That's what I was thinking.
Another couple hours worth of work.
Also, the costs on these are going up because this is still rather new technology. We get a lot of questions about doing very specific guns, very different guns.
Very custom things.
Yeah, very custom things, and we'll try to accommodate them where we can. But like we said, this is very experimental. So if something goes wrong, we become accountable.
Well, just to cut really custom stuff in general. Like the HPA tap is something obviously we can do, but I mean we've gotten some really crazy questions. Like we've had people
ask about bullpup 249s.
Yeah, bullpup 249s have come across. That's some of the more ridiculous stuff, but more feasible things. I've had people ask us if we could do Tavors and L85s for them for Polar Stars, AUGs and stuff like that. Like I can't stress enough for we would love to try. But I mean, it's anywhere you go, it's probably going to cost you. But HPA tapping, worth it? I mean, if you want to, would we do it? Yeah, probably. Would we charge you at least $70 in labor, plus all the parts for all 4 mags?
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Do I say that it's a worthwhile investment? But I mean, if it's what you're into, it's what you're into. So there you go. Saffron, blow it up.
Risotto time. Matt Legler asks, keep up the good work. What are your thoughts on Steel City Airsoft and Three Rivers Paintball and Airsoft? Well,
Steel City. A lot of us play there.
Well, thanks for the good comment.
Oh, thanks for the good comment.
Steel City, yeah, we like it. It's cool. We like to keep it going. Three Rivers is also, we're getting a lot of traction there. A lot of people are starting to come out this summer for it. So
I have still never been there.
Same. I'm going to try to go someday.
I will say this. Personally, I don't think Steel City Airsoft or Three Rivers Paintball represent the community how it used to be. In some ways, Steel City actually distracted a lot of people from outdoor airsoft, and it was half held responsible for the destruction of the outdoor scene here, because Steel City Airsoft, you go there, pay $20, 20-minute games, you can take breaks, it's all indoors, it's air conditioned, it's easy. A lot of people prefer that over going to a game and playing for 5 hours because it's easier, especially the kids, and that's fine. But I think because of that, people don't look for anything else because it's what's there. People don't look around for what else is out there.
Yeah, like from where I'm from in Ohio's huge. Up until recently, there wasn't a whole lot of fields where I lived, and there certainly wasn't any indoor fields within an hour even of where I lived. So every time I wanted to go a game, and I'd go to like 2-3 games a week weekend, or 2 or 3 games a month, with my friends, you'd have to drive at least an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to any game ever. And I moved here to work for Amped, and then one thing I noticed immediately was that there's no games around here.
Kind of sad.
It's just, I don't know, I haven't lived here forever, so I don't know what caused it. It's not my business. But I just, it's kind of sad. I know a lot of people go to Steel City. I know there was another indoor field local to here, and there was some animosity between the two parties worth of people that used to go there that was not fueled by the business themselves, which I found hilarious as well. But it was fueled by the customer base of each respective business, and they started a whole battle, and that really segmented the community and really broke it up too. And so but personally, Steel City is fun to play. I've been there a couple times. It's okay.
Yeah.
Three Rivers, I've never been there.
TRP's cool, but just go into it expecting what you're going to get. It's an open play. There's a lot of kids. It's cool for what it is. The kids get to have fun, but it's not.
As long as people are having fun, I'm okay with it.
Just don't expect a super serious Milsim game out of it, because it's not. It's cool and it's fun.
This is a super serious Milsim guy over here.
I'm just saying, people go into stuff with high expectations, and then they get
I don't need my nods. You don't need them, bro.
All right, and actually, this is interesting. I have to go up and stop the video and start a new one, because I learned today that Nikon has a 20-minute video counter limit that you can't change, because they want to avoid a stamp on being an actual video camera. So,
in that case, I'm going to do the next question.
We should have got
My wife used to work for Primanti's.
You got to go to the right Primanti's. Yeah, you got to go one
Good to go?
at 12 o'clock and get an Iron City.
Yeah. All right, we're good.
Okay,
Thanks,
now that we're
Nikon.
good, Brian McGinnis.
Another one.
Which
Brian
do you
McGinnis. That's two,
prefer,
huh?
one really good gun or multiple decent guns?
One really good gun.
One real good one for me. In my collection of airsoft guns, watch this, all right? My Polar Star and whatever external set I'm going to run it in. EGLM pistol. That's it.
I'm the wrong person to ask.
Matt, we're not even gonna ask Matt on this subject.
Matt has more guns just on his body at any given game
than any of us do.
Than I do that I own total.
More on his desk too.
True.
He owns more things.
Well, in my defense, I have
none. There is none. Silence.
Silence, Matt.
6 guns put together.
Poor Matt.
Oh Jesus.
I'd say, hey, why not have multiple great guns?
You could always do that, or you could have uppers for
There's a lot of
multiple, all
different ways to
swagged out. That's always cool too, I guess.
Go low swaggins.
I mean, one of the things
Yo.
that I've always done at least is that I'll
Pass the bag
get a
down.
hold of a bunch of different guns.
Oh, no.
Not necessarily great guns, but over the course of me owning them, I'll slowly throw in parts, or I'll completely get it at one time. And even my AK is the AK I normally run, my little tan one, if you guys have ever seen it. It was pieced together from 4 or 5 different AKs, so
he's a tinkerer. He just likes to take things apart. So he has piles of guns.
I do it too, but I do it out of paranoia. I take my stuff apart to make sure everything's okay.
And he never puts it back together, and it just lives on the desk
No,
and
I-
parts.
Oh,
3
my
years
stuff
on
always
one
goes back
PFC
together.
gearbox. And it
My
finally
stuff always
died.
goes back together.
Crazy. 3 years.
Okay. So, lethal gun. This isn't really a question, but okay. Polar Star is worth it because you can keep the existing gearbox, and with the SMP, you don't get to keep the gearbox. Also, you get so much more features with the Polar Star.
I think he was replying to someone else asking about the SMP. Opinion. My big thing is there's pretty girls out here. Robbie gets easily distracted. Us married folk.
Getting ready for college. Don't hate.
Anyway, don't talk to boys. Anyway, so sorry.
Helicopter.
That was me. Anyway, the T train's not here.
Keep moving.
But that's a matter of opinion. The SMP works fine. It just doesn't have certain features
We need to play
because
with
of
it
its
more.
design. I have not.
From what I've seen.
It shoots great. It depends on what kind of setup. I would suggest the SMP more for light machine gun rolls, or for longer ops, like 24-hour ops, if you like to play lots of continuous play, because it draws less power from a battery, so a given battery will last longer in it than it will in a fusion engine, because it doesn't have an LCD. It's more efficient without upgrade parts like a fusion engine. Like a fusion engine, you need a poppet, maybe poppet shims, higher nozzles, and all kinds of crazy stuff to make it more efficient. Type bores. With the SMP, it's just go.
Yeah.
Like
Technically, you get to keep everything in the gearbox, so
you get to
just
keep,
not in there.
You get to keep all your
They
parts.
don't steal it. They don't come to your house and steal it.
It's not like when you go, hey, I would like an SMP, please, and then like Wolverine is like, I'll take all of your gearbox
Yeah,
parts.
they don't send the guy.
Like,
They don't send the guy to your house to.
Yeah, he doesn't come in a rusty van and steal all of your stuff. Like, you get to keep it.
Matt doesn't come in here and shake it out like a piggy bank. Take your change.
Whose turn is it?
It's opinion.
Although, real quick, before we end that, the one thing about the Wolverine I didn't like is that
yeah, I know, because you were the only one that got to play with it.
I run a 68 by 3000 tank, and I got like 5,000 shots out of it. So like the air efficiency, if I can talk, air efficiency
Stock
is like
through the roof. Through the roof,
it's,
stock.
It's ridiculous.
So like I said, if you shoot a lot, like with a support weapon, or you need a long like a black sheep op, or maybe like a longer American Milsim op, you need like time.
Longevity.
You need longevity. You want to stay in the game instead of be like a racehorse and get in and get out real quick.
We'll run a marathon.
I would prefer the SMP personally.
Yeah.
I also like it because it cuts weight because it doesn't have the full body. I have a Gen 2 fusion engine, so I don't even have the latest gen. I've had mine for like 2 years, maybe like 2.5. I don't even remember. And I mean, it's a good system. I like it. I've used it for a long time. I've had my issues with it. It's come and gone. I'm interested to see something new, and I like the new competition.
Yeah.
Personally.
We'll see what happens. The other thing I think a lot of people would like to see is the price point. I think was disappointing to a lot of people. Just speaking from what the customer have told us, but that's the only thing that really I've heard negative about it.
Well, I feel like once they get
Once
they get their name out there and once they get going, we could see one of two things. We could either see a plethora of more accessories for it, which would make the price point, good for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Or conversely, they might be able to pare down some of their initial production costs.
Oh, and please don't take anything we're saying as negativity toward the Wolverine.
I like it.
I don't want to see this go up on a forum and say that we're flaming it. We're not. We're discussing our personal opinions on the matter. And
We do not reflect the personal opinions of Amped Airsoft.
Here we go.
LLC.
But we're trying to be constructive. Just because we're criticizing it doesn't mean that we're not like making it fun.
Yeah, I'm not trolling.
We're trying to
come
help.
on.
We're doing these videos to help. So.
All right. So, Water Buffalo Airsoft.
I wonder where he's from.
Question amped from the great state of Texas.
There
Hey,
you go.
I just got back from vacation and I was in Padre Island, Corpus Christi, Galveston, and Houston. Your state is beautiful.
An American.
It's very American.
Awesome.
I loved seeing Texas flags above American flags. That's how Texas is. It's kind of hilarious. It's a beautiful state, though. I really like it there. So good on you for living somewhere sweet. I just ordered your SLP rig, and I love it, by the way. We'll tell Biggs. Biggs will appreciate it. But my question is, what do y'all think is the best BB for the buck? 2.5s and up in weight. And just something add on 601 or 623. That's a dual question. Thanks for answering my question. Really enjoy the show and stay amped. So this guy, his first question ever, and he was like the very recent poster, and he got on the show. I feel bad for all these dudes who've been rolling in here for like 2-3 months now.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. I'm sorry.
One day.
All right. So best BB for the buck. If you're using a Polar Star, I suggest no lighter than a 3.
Yeah.
unless your field requires you to use something lighter to keep your joules down. No lighter than a 3.
Always chrono and joules.
Always chrono and joules. Always chrono and joules. I like BioVols. I like Elite Force. 2.8s, 3s.
I love BB Bastard. I'm a BB Bastard.
BB Bastard is expensive. I think he's looking for cost though.
I know.
Yeah.
So I like BioVols. I like the 3.2s from Elite Force. I like the 2.8s from Elite Force.
Yeah,
I like
Elite Force BBs have never steered me wrong. I've been using those for a
those
while.
feed in all my mags. I've had other like high grade BBs not feed in my mags, but Elite Force always feeds. I don't know. They may not fly the best sometimes, but they always feed. So there's that. That's just volume of fire. I'll paintball that trigger.
All right. But next.
And then a 601 or 603. Depends on
Personal preference.
personal preference. Do you want a high efficiency setup? Tight bore. Do you want a racehorse setup? Wide bore. I mean, neither one's wrong. It's just what you need to do is you need to decide what.
Wait, neither one's wrong?
No, I said neither one of them's wrong.
Oh.
Anyways,
You're wrong.
Either one is wrong.
Ohio. So what you really need to do, what you really need to do is you need to decide air efficiency or pure performance, and then that'll pick your barrel for you. And then from there, you need to decide what all parts you want. And we can help you from there. You can talk to me on Facebook, or Saffron on Facebook, or Saffron via the email system.
I'm on Facebook sometimes.
He's on Facebook sometimes. You can call the tech department and talk to him. He'll take care of you. But you really need to decide. The only main question is, do you want something that's hyper efficient, or do you want something that's hyper performance? And then once you make that decision, from there we can guide you in and put all the right parts in your hands, and you'll be good to go. That's all I would say. But yeah, Elite Force and BioVol BBs for 3s and 2.8s and 3.2s. If you can find them, any fours you can get your hands on. They'll be expensive, but the thing is
Talked to a guy today that had BioVol 4 still in his
Oh my
possession.
God, those things were awesome.
those things are ancient
They were
too.
awesome.
Like dinosaurs were
While we're on
there.
real quick, while we're on the topic of BB Wars, we're working on it. Someone asked last week about it. I don't know if we're going to get to the question, but I want to say it because there's a lot of people that are curious. We're working on it. We just tested a bunch of different
Me and him
BBs.
just fired something like 2,000 or 3,000 test BBs like a week ago,
So
like
we're-
2 weeks
we're-
ago.
We're working on it. Maybe things are coming soon. We don't want to release product with it sucking, because last time really gave us a taste of what can happen.
That was a real letdown.
We're gonna try to figure everything out before we're gonna make sure that we're good to go before we actually relaunch it. So
Yeah,
hang in there.
I don't want to feed you guys crap. Very easily we could have, if we were shisty and awful. I mean, because they still fly okay, even though they're defective. They just don't feed very well in mags because of their polish. And so, like, we could have still sold them. But we care more about players than we care. I'd much rather grow slow instead of fast if I can keep everybody happy as much as possible.
All right, 2 more questions, so we'll finish the line.
Yeah, I will say the 2s and 2.5s are awesome.
The 2 and 2.5s were actually great. Those flew really well.
That's all
they
I
were
run.
awesome.
Unfortunately, there are 2 weights that we don't really care about with Polar Stars.
No Polar Star weights, but
So-
if you do the zip, 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 I mean those were good. Those were fine.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next question.
Do it.
I'm Brutax. Night Vision. Holy shit. Those guys are f***ing serious. They don't accept defeat.
I'm too poor for night vision, and I am sad.
I'm 17 and I live with my mom.
I've seen too many.
He decided to buy night vision instead of a car. Let's put it in perspective here.
That happened.
That happened.
Actually, what's funny, I had enough. Up until now, I had enough for a car, but I just dumped all my entire savings on my first semester of college. That happened.
Bro,
That's
education.
cool.
You can pick that up anytime.
Read another one because that one was not a
There we
question.
go. It's okay. We appreciate your input.
But thank you. That was a compliment more
It
towards
was.
him than it was us.
Okay. All right, we're doing another one. GrizzDip 92.
Chris did.
I don't know why that's so funny either.
That's pretty good.
I don't know. I thought
What do you guys use to catch BBs when testing guns?
We made our whole giant pipe contraption that we have now eventually shot through. We put it. We fixed
We
it.
have a new one.
We fixed it.
I mean,
we actually have one of our front end guys lean under it with his face to catch him.
Sometimes. He likes pain.
Make sure he shows his teeth.
I mean, a few times we caught the BBs.
Maybe we'll have to put a picture up of that ancient beast. It's been an amp for quite
It's
a
in
day.
videos. If you go back in time in the YouTube videos, you'll see it. And every once in a while, whenever we
it's
show
all
a
over the
video with the
place.
chrono, you'll see it. And it's this big pipe with a stopper cut on the top with a chrono shoved in it, and it's an elbow into a bucket. And then what's hilarious is that we've used it so much that
Shot through it.
they shot through the elbow. So then
And
there's
the wall.
and so then there's a
Both sides of the
shamag.
wall.
There's a shemagog,
There's like
shemagog,
t-shirts
whatever,
and all kinds of
t-shirt and
shit.
all kinds of stuff stuffed in the hole to keep the BBs from shooting out of the back.
There's metal in it now, though. So
Yeah.
we got that one fixed up. Hope you're not watching our landlords.
Yeah, right.
That was embarrassing.
The looks we're getting are ridiculous, by the way.
Oh my.
Anyway,
Okay.
going.
Matt, last question.
Trevor Buttery. I know this is
Wait,
random.
His name is
But-
Buttery.
Any news on
Smooth.
the? Nope.
You must be smooth, sir.
Any news on the BBs, which we actually just answered.
All right,
Yeah, we did.
There you go.
we answered
Next
it.
question.
Next question.
Okay.
We
And
like
no,
getting
it's
as
not
many
the right
questions
question to
as-
ask.
We appreciate your
We
input.
love you though.
Man, we got HUMVEE.
Okay. Phil Geigel. I'm pretty sure I butchered your name, but I'm sorry.
That's what we do here. I'm sorry.
I can't read.
He's a Marine.
It happens. What system would you recommend? Polestar versus SMP?
Uh-oh.
Oh
or
my
a
God,
VC
another
Scar
one.
H to match my real steel Scar 17s.
17s. He has 2 Mark 17s.
Jeez Louise.
At least 2? Oh my
Well,
dude,
yeah.
why do you even care? You have money. Buy them both.
Well.
you have way too much money. Buy them both.
Scar heavy
Give
really.
me one,
the
though.
Scar heavy. The scars aren't really a. To answer, answer his question at least, Matt.
Is Scar Heavy still a custom job though?
Sort of. Not really.
A little bit. All it is for the Polar Star, we just take the gearbox out, put the fusion engine in, the ambi selector. How's that go together?
It comes around the gearbox,
not
plates
hard.
around the engine.
It doesn't need any special parts.
No.
Nope. All I do is swap out the trigger.
The only thing you have to do is you
cut the wiring and
Nozzle.
actual-
You need a
cut
special
a
nozzle.
hole in the stock for the wiring, and then they make a Scar Heavy nozzle. The SMP, they make a Scar Heavy nozzle as well. So you
I think
just
we have
do.
one sitting down there too.
I think we do actually.
You literally just do the same thing. What you do is you just gut the gearbox, put the SMP in your gearbox, put the Scar Heavy nozzle in it. But all the same steps apply other than that. So easy. It's actually really easy.
Which one
Which
would
you
we
guys do
recommend?
yourself?
It's
Yeah, I
really-
mean we keep them up on our site as custom builds. If you don't want to do it,
we have two-tone ones too.
we have
They look
two-tone
pretty snazzy.
ones. We can do that. But they're on the site. You can order them right now. And on the new site, every custom build is going to have the option of what HPA system you want in it. So literally what you'll do is you'll go, like, say, to a 416, and you'll go 416 custom build. Then you'll go Polar Star or Wolverine and select one. And then you'll go down through and pick all your stuff, and it'll just build you what you want and then send it. So,
Spoilers.
spoiler alert, when we get that done, it'll happen. But right now, yeah, you can do it. It's easy peasy, super easy.
Well, the time has come to end this episode of Ask, whatever our store is called.
Asked,
and,
Amped, episode 5 is now
Sorry.
concluded.
Take 317.
yeah,
Attempt-
we actually shot this
I thought it was
before
319.
with the old camera. The old camera decided to not work, so
This
we
is
did it
attempt
with
3.
the new Nikon.
We got a
Doing
brand new
really
Nikon
well.
camera that I picked
Doing
because
really
I know
well.
what I'm doing.
Doing really well. So.
But yeah, so we got the new camera, so that's good. We decided to take you guys on a trip to celebrate the new camera. You got to see some Humvee footage in the video, so that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, by zip tying my camera, that luckily didn't
And
fall
all of our
off.
helmet cams.
Luckily, my camera
The
didn't
looks we
survive.
were getting, lol-tastic.
Priceless.
But either way, so what we're gonna be doing now is we're gonna get on a regimented schedule. There's gonna be either tech.
You'll post it on Facebook.
Yeah, there'll be tech, review, and what's the other one?
There's gonna be live chats. Live chats every
Those are on
Thursday.
Monday. Ask Dan videos we record on Thursday. They should be out by Saturday, Monday at the latest. And then we're gonna start doing live streaming and live chats Thursday nights. Probably starting either next week or the week after. Probably around 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep.
So whatever your time zone is, just add that or subtract that from the time I add. Wow.
Whatever.
American education, math. So that's going to start happening. So keep an eye out. Instagram's going to get booted up real soon. Yeah, marching
Nice,
band.
we got some jams.
We got some outro jams. All right. So anybody else got anything to add?
Stand by for maybe more location shots if you're lucky.
Yeah. During the summer, we're going to try to get out to more awesome places because we got an awesome camera that won't blow up now. So we got
Matt?
Saffron.
Anthony
Anthony. I'm Robbie.
and Robbie. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping.
His helmet's
night.
for a reason.
We'll see you later.
Peace.